I was doing absolutely nothing. I would literally hover over the sink to do the dishes. To come up and down the stairs, I would bear crawl up and I would sit on my butt to go down. It was excruciating pain, I can't even tell you. I mean, I was literally on a kitchen chair making grilled cheese at my stove. My name is Barbara. I'm 49. I am a very active mother of two. I have two boys who play hockey who are always on the go between breakfast, lunch, dinner, laundry, hockey games, driving here, driving there. I work out. I go to the health club. I work in a restaurant. I'm a hostess. I was healthy. I was walking 4 miles a day, doing everything without even thinking. And then in October, November, I just started to have some slight pain walking, and I didn't think much of it. And then around Christmas time, I put our tree up, and I just didn't feel right, and my back was hurting all the time, and my legs. Every day was getting a little worse and worse, and I thought maybe I pulled something, or maybe I'm coming down with a bad flu. Every bone in my body ached. And then New Year's Eve, I was on the couch with 3 blankets, a heating pad, and Tylenol every 4 hours. It was the most excruciating, I cannot put into words the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life. And I couldn't do anything. I could barely walk to the bathroom without holding on to the furniture. Or I literally would just sit a lot. It was very painful. I couldn't even sleep at night. But I was on the couch for 4 days. I lost about 10, 15 pounds. And I never recuperated from that. My back got worse, my legs got worse, and my boss suggested that I go see a chiropractor. So I went to the chiropractor, and I went about 6 weeks of treatment, and it wasn't getting better. And they were saying I was having problems with my neck and my back, and to do all these exercises, and they were stretching me, and it was becoming more painful. Through someone that my son went to school with, she saw me. They had moved to Georgia, and she saw me in March at confirmation, and she asked a friend of ours what was wrong with me and why I was walking that way. And she goes, I don't want to interfere, but I'd like to give her a name and a number of a doctor that I saw. And he said that he would only do one at a time, and then you'd have to recover from the first surgery before he'd do both. And I had to have both done. And that was where I was more scared, because I'm like, to go through 2 surgeries, 2 recuperations. By meeting that doctor, I just wasn't confident. I didn't walk out of there going, he's going to make this all better. I didn't feel that way. And then when my friend Amy suggested, just go meet Dr. Lewis. I went to Dr. Lewis after that, and it was my second opinion, and I just fell in love with him, and I never looked back. He just made me feel at ease. He told me that this is what needed to be done, and he left it in my hands. He said, call me when you're ready. He goes, there's no other alternative for you. You need to have bilateral hip surgery. When I finally found out that it was the hips, it was more of like a sigh of relief that it was something that could be fixed versus something that was what couldn't be fixed. The reservations I had was I'm a mother of 2, so everyone here depends on me. And I didn't know how quickly I would recover to go back to doing the things that I do. It was upsetting to me because I couldn't be the person that I wanted to be, and it was scary all at the same time. I was scared that something could go wrong in surgery, which Dr. Lewis does tell you that there is a possibility. Once he opens you up, you don't know what's going to happen. Will I walk with a limp? Will I walk better? Will I have to be on medication the rest of my life? Will everything heal back to the way it should be? He said, you're a young woman, you need to live your life. I want to dance at their wedding, I want to dance with them, I want to have grandchildren that I can crawl around on the floor with and play and be like the grandma that my mom and my mother-in-law were, and interact with them and not just be able to sit and hold them. That's no way to live. Their appointments were just wonderful. They work with you. And when I met him, the minute he walked in the room and just sat down, I knew, okay, this will work. This is all going to be better. They gave me the packet information. They gave me what it would look like and how it's structured. There's a video you can go online to watch the procedure in cartoon form, or the actual surgery itself, which I didn't either. I didn't want to know about it. Less is more to me. It was very informative the whole way. If you want to know more about it, I just wanted it over. I trusted him enough to know that he was going to do what he needed to do, and I didn't need to know the ins and outs of it. I fell in love with Katie. She answered all my questions, his associate or his secretary, Jeanette. Every phone call, she was just more than pleasant. It was just an overall pleasant experience from start to finish with him. And I told him, I go, I'm entrusting you with my life. I have 2 boys. And he just kind of laughed at me. He's like, it's going to be fine. Like as if he was just removing a hangnail. He's like, it's going to be good. Just don't worry. I'm like, don't worry. And, easy for you to say. You do this all the time. I don't. But he was right. He was right. I went in the hospital on a Monday. I had surgery at 10 in the morning. I was in my room by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was in there 3 nights. And they wanted me to go to Mary and Joy physical therapy, and I was very adamant about coming home. And they told me I had to go through the steps, and once I passed the tests and met with their people from Mary and Joy, they released me to come home. I had a physical therapist come here for 5 visits. I wanted to walk into Dr. Lewis's office on my 3-week appointment, no equipment. And I told the physical therapist, she goes, well, you're probably going to have a cane. You had bilateral. You're going to need the balance. I go, I don't know. I'm walking in there. And when Katie saw me walking down the hall, she goes, really? She goes, no cane, no walker? I go, oh, no. And she goes, I have to videotape you because Dr. Lewis wasn't here. She goes, I'm going to send it to him. And she did. And she's like, she goes, I can't believe you're doing it without a cane right now. And I said, look at me go. And they released me to go back to the health club. And I have not looked back since. It gave my life back. Dr. Lewis said from the minute that I have surgery, the only pain that I would have was the post-surgery pain. I would never feel that hip pain again. He was correct. From the minute my feet touched the floor, I never had that pain. It was gone. And there was no more Advil, there was no more Tylenol, there was no more pain meds. It was unbelievable. And I was up walking within 24 hours with a walker. And I was doing physical therapy in the hospital. I was doing stairs by day 3. I can walk again. Yeah. I don't have pain. I can walk my dog. I can go see my kids. I can walk in the bleachers up 10 bleacher stairs without excruciating pain. I'm smiling. People are wondering, like, why do you smile so much? I'm like, every day is a gift now. I still, it's so fresh in my mind where I came from that I'm just happy to walk. I just love to go walk just because I can, or get in and out of my car without lifting my leg and swinging it in. And I go to the health club 5 days a week. I'm back to working full time. But I am living my life exactly the way I was, and I'm only going on my 4th month. If people could see me then and see me now, it's just totally different. It's just 150% turnaround. And I said to him, what happens if I fall? He goes, you're going to fall. And I said, am I going to break this? Is it going to break in half? He said, absolutely not. He goes, you are stronger than you've ever been. This implant will not break. It's like a piece of cement, what they showed me. It's the strongest piece in your body right now. So yeah, it is awesome. And when they showed me, the ball and the piece, and I was like, you're putting that in? And he's like, and they each weigh about 2 pounds. I'm like, great, I'm putting on 4 pounds now, Now when I can't do something, I get mad at myself, but I'm like, okay, maybe next week it'll be that step closer. The treadmill does pound on it a little. The elliptical is much more easier to do right now, but I'm doing it. I couldn't 6 months ago, I couldn't do it. So I'm doing it, and that's okay with me right now. But I'm going to be back to walking that 4 miles. And he told me I will. He said, you will. I would say you definitely have to do it. It will change your life. Dr. Lewis is truly a godsend. Do you remember what it was like before you had all this pain? To really think about how you just got up and you walked to your mailbox or you walked to the kitchen refrigerator. That is where you'll be back to. Can you remember that time? Because for some people, I'm sure it's been, mine was very short-lived, but for some it's probably been lengthy. I would say that it will go back to that way again. It will. And that would be the inspiration, and knowing that Dr. Lewis will make it happen. He is one of the only doctors in this area that has that table that allows for you to do this type of surgery. I'm like, he needs to get out there and tell people, because I'm sure even doctors don't know that it is available. There is that procedure to do both at the same time, given your health, that if it's a good fit for you. I'm just glad it was a great fit for me and that I was able to do it, because I don't know that I could recuperate twice from one and then the other. You will have your life back. You will do everything you did before and more. I mean, Dr. Lewis was like, you can't play tennis, without a doubles partner. I go, well, I never played tennis before. He's like, well, then you don't need to worry about it. And you can't run marathons, which I never did before. But I am living my life exactly the way I was, and I'm only going on my 4th month.